And welcome back to another episode of JP and the Beans Talk.
You bet. There's a great energy in the gym. We're on the cusp of a Super Bowl. We're on the cusp of the Winter Olympics. They've actually started, which is weird because they haven't had the opening ceremony, but curling has begun. The one time every 4 years that all of us get excited for the weirdest sport on ice.
Oh boy.
It's great. It's great.
Cannot wait to not watch it.
Well, that's just sad.
What?
You should watch it.
Watch what? Curling?
100%.
Oh.
100%. Because at the bare minimum, you will watch it and you will be struck by the question that I'm struck with every 4 years. How does someone get into curling? How does that happen?
Ice and boredom.
Yeah, but think of all the things you can do on ice, and then you end up
With a broom? Yes. They must have had a janitor one day trying to clean the ice, and he didn't know any better.
and
and
trying to do some shuffleboard, and they're like, hey, it's just a little sticky.
It's pre-Zamboni at
It's
that
awesome.
point in time.
It's awesome. It's fantastic.
And it's just unfortunate. I mean,
the
it is what it
teamwork
is.
that's involved, the intensity, the communication. Give me curling all day.
Sure, I'm
all day.
sure their biceps are large.
Should be.
For
You
the
see
way
the
that
way
they're
you see the way they sweep. It's unreal.
going at it.
It's unreal. It's
So-
unreal. I'm super excited. I love that we get the Olympics every 2 years. I'm more of a Summer Olympics aficionado myself. That's just a fancy way of saying my preference. What I tend to watch the most of is the Summer Olympics, but I am still very excited for the Winter Olympics. I think some of the most insane Olympic events actually take place in the Winter Olympics. Like you think of the ski jump, that's outrageous. That's outrageous. How high they are, I would die. Most people would die. It's incredible. You don't get that in the Summer Olympics. You don't get people just launching so far in the air. So far. I'm psyched.
Well, I'm glad they're here for you.
USA, number one. They're here for all of us. They're here for all of us.
America.
Number one. Number one. It's great. Well, we're pumped to be here, Beans. It's fantastic to be recording with you on this fine winter evening. Per usual, we'll recap the news and notes from the past couple weeks that were. We will even give more than seconds to talking about a little show called Wonder Man. Because apparently, guys, it's good. We will discuss. We will also briefly hit on what trailers we think we might see in this upcoming Super Bowl. Because I think there's some movies and shows that we're like, come on, get out there. Couple that take a little prediction stab at. And then, of course, we'll continue our march through the MCU. It's time to turn the page to Phase 2 of the MCU. And we will wrap with, once again, another fantastic classic JP and the Beans Top 5. So without further ado, Beans.
Yeah.
One of the big news items at the top of the docket is that dear sweet Kathleen Kennedy is no mas at Star Wars. She has officially stepped out. It was a long time coming.
Yep.
During her tenure, it was a
Rough ride?
mixed
Rough ride.
bag at best.
Bumpy road.
Yes. Yeah. Is there anything I wonder? I think the best that she's going to be able to do as far as leaving a legacy is with, I think, of the younger generation that just happened to be young enough to watch the new Star Wars movies and go, hey, those are a lot of fun. It's really
won't say
similar.
that.
They will. No,
No,
they will.
no,
Yes,
they
they
won't.
will. Because it's
Nope.
exactly the same as what happened when the prequel
Yeah, but those
trilogy
are actually
came
good
out.
movies.
They're not great.
Are you
They're
kidding
not the
me?
worst. No, I'm not kidding you. They're not great, though.
Episode 3?
It's good. It's not great.
You're insane.
It's not great.
That's like the perfect character arc for Anakin. And that okay. Anyways, we won't get into this because clearly that's insane.
The acting and line reading in that movie is
Okay.
tough.
Whose fault is dialogue?
tough?
I'm not going
It's
to
tough.
argue. I'm not going to argue with you on dialogue being tough. But whose fault is that? Don't go blaming Hayden Christensen on that. All right, that is. He
And
was not in charge of the
I'm not
dialogue.
dunking on Hayden. I'm not dunking on Natalie Portman, who's a good actress in her own right. But they were given some rough stuff to work with. Listen, I'm not here to hate on those movies, but I am simply saying that folks that are of a certain age are going to watch the prequel trilogy and
I think you're
go,
crazy.
Kylo Ren looks awesome. No, it's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be the same thing. Like, hey, Darth Maul, boy, he looked really cool because he did. Kylo Ren looked really cool when he had the mask on.
That's just mean.
That is mean. That is mean. True but hurtful things. Yeah, it's just reality. It's just real. It's just real.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yep.
But I'm going to tell you right now, if
history's going to prove me
any
right there.
kid comes up to me and is like,
you're going
"Did you
to ruin their lives.
Yeah, did you see episode 7, 8, 9? They're fantastic." I'll be like, "No, get out of here. Absolutely not. Your
Out
opinion,
of my presence, youth."
Your opinion is invalid. You have just made everything that comes out of your mouth moving forward irrelevant to me."
Yeah. To be clear, the distinction I'm drawing is I overall currently am in a place of, listen, I enjoy the prequel trilogy. I don't find them to be incredibly well-made movies, but I enjoy them. They've got some really great pieces. Obviously, Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. Come on. Peak.
I'm just
so
saying,
good.
All I'm
the
saying
lightsaber
is,
duels are fantastic.
Yes.
They're great.
And what did we get out of that sequel series?
Mm-hmm.
0 lightsaber fights that are worth the dang.
A real lack.
Yep.
No
What
doubt.
character are you going to take away and be like, "Oh, I hope we can see more of"?
Mhm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Prequels? What would you get? Obi-Wan, Maul, Dooku.
To be clear, don't hear me say that I'm saying the 7, 8, 9 movies. I totally put the prequel movies above 7, 8, 9. Totally. I'm just saying,
I'm just
from
saying,
a legacy perspective, Kathleen Kennedy is going to have this like weird niche of kiddos that grew up watching those movies like, oh, those are so cool. Because there's some great moments in those movies. There's some cool moments in those movies.
no, there's not.
Yes, there
I
is.
can confirm.
Yes,
for a
there
fact.
is.
Nope.
Yes, there is. Come
Nope.
on, when Rey and Kylo Ren battle the guard, that's a great scene.
It's
Force Awakens, when the X-Wings come in for the first time, that's a great scene.
Force Awakens is not bad. The
Right.
rest, the other two,
Right.
awful.
You'll see. You'll see. So anyway, Kathleen Kennedy, goodbye.
That
And
generation
we
is
needed
cooked.
we needed this, right? Star Wars needs a new voice, some new leadership. Whether or not someone does well, I'm sure she had good intentions. It just didn't work. So it's time for a new leadership, new opportunity. I have no idea when we're going to see a new genuine direction with Star Wars. As a whole, I think right now it's a very fractured universe. You have individual producers and directors and creatives, kind of to paint with a broad brush there, putting out content. So it's clearly a universe that's lacking a top-of-the-line leadership. Hey, here's the direction we're pulling. And what's really unfortunate about that, as we've discussed, gosh, there's so much territory to cover. There's thousands of years from which you could draw and tell some great stories. And we've been stuck in the Skywalker era for too long. So here's my only hope. Whoever it is that gets the opportunity to come in, just get us some variety. There's more stories to tell.
We do have that confirmed. So it is Dave Filoni.
Dave got the job?
Yes. So it's Dave Filoni
No
as
way.
President and Chief Creative Officer and Lin-Wen Brennan as Co-President, focusing on business aspects following Kathleen's departure.
Okay.
So, there you go.
Dave's been the strongest content creator, like on an individual level.
Right.
So we'll see if he can do kind of the James Gunn here, right? That's essentially what it is. It's like, hey, you've done well making. Can you do well facilitating?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see. Good luck, Dave. Hoping for you, bud.
I have faith. I have faith. We've gotten a lot of good stuff from his era when they let him cook, and then hopefully he's got somebody to pull him back when he gets too creative.
Yep.
That's the word I wanted. Yep.
Hopefully Star Wars has had its DC era, right? Its decade in the darkness where it put some stuff out there that was, again, mixed bag. Okay. On the positive Star Wars note, we got a trailer for Maul, Shadow Lord. That looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's going to be sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down. I love the voice actor for Maul. He's also like one of the biggest Star Wars nerds when it comes to like knowing how everything works and just listening to him talk about Star Wars. You're like, oh, this guy was the right pick.
Is it still Sam Witwer?
I believe
the
so.
guy?
I believe so.
Our
You
guy?
can double check me.
Let me double check here. It is.
But
That's fun.
he's fantastic. So cannot wait. I will probably watch that
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't watch Bad Batch. Heard that was pretty decent. I still probably should go finish Clone Wars. But Maul's amazing. I love Maul. So
I mean, the animation style looks super cool, as we've already discussed numerous times. There's plenty of Clone Wars that I haven't seen, but just seeing this trailer, I love the quality of the work that we're seeing. That's pretty freaking cool. The character of Maul in general, I know that there's some serious retconning that's taken place to allow him to be alive, so I think it's super weird that they're like, we're just going to cut a guy in half in episode 1 and then he's alive. But hey, comics, Star Wars, let's do it. So, something to look forward to. Early April is when we're expecting to see that bad boy get dropped. So that's really cool. That'll be fun to look forward to.
sick.
Yep, super fun. Also in the realm of fun, we have our first official trailer for Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Oh,
Looks
this
good,
was
doesn't it?
fun. This was fun. This was a lot of fun. Daredevil smiling while kicking butt and taking names. That's pretty cool. Jessica Jones officially back. Got some time. We didn't really get any teases of other characters of note, unless you want to count some flashbacks with Foggy, Karen Page, probably some flashback action in there as well. So the rumors aren't officially confirmed with the likes of Mike Coulter coming back as Luke Cage, for example. How much we get of our guy Punisher to be determined. But for about 90 seconds, that was glorious to see a lot of Matt in the Daredevil suit and a lot of Kingpin doing Kingpin things. It looked amazing.
Oh yeah,
It looked
and
fantastic.
also to throw it out there, we got Matthew Lillard in the Marvel universe. For those of you who don't know, that's Shaggy Rogers. All right, that's also the guy who was known for Scream, and I think he's in the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff now.
Okay.
So mainly in like the horror-esque
Very
side
extreme,
of things,
like either horror or comedy.
Yes.
Like never a middle ground.
He's a fantastic actor,
Yep, good
so I
character
can't wait
actor.
to see
Yeah.
what he brings to the table because I'm pretty sure
Yep.
he is a good guy. I think he's going after Kingpin. I think.
Okay.
So don't hold me to that.
Okay.
But also very creepy little still images
I
of
forgot he got to be your guy Shaggy back in the day.
oh,
That's
yeah.
great.
still the voice of Shaggy, but the
That's great.
the imagery for the guy wearing the Kingpin mask
Mm-hmm.
that creeped me out
Yep.
a lot.
Yep.
And also watching Kingpin in a boxing ring. Oh dear Lord, who's dumb enough to go up against him in that area?
Somebody that got paid to do it, but you should have passed on the paycheck.
It's not
Should've
worth
passed.
it.
Nope.
The paycheck's not worth it
No,
there.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Not a good
He
decision
was
at all.
built to box. Like
Mhm.
that dude is not like gonna be ducking any punches. He's gonna sit in the pocket and just wait for you to drop your guard,
Mhm.
and then he's going to kill you
Mm-hmm.
because that's what he does.
Mhm.
So I'm super pumped as well. We're getting back out in the streets. The black suit. We get little tidbits there. Can't wait. It's gonna be sweet.
Just give us a lot of freaking. Here's the thing. Give us a lot of freaking Daredevil, please.
Yeah.
Like, yes, Matt Murdock is a great alter ego, and yes, I'm saying Daredevil is the main and Matt Murdock is the alter ego. But come on, can we please lean into the hero? Like, it's a show about the hero. Can we do that, please?
Yeah, no ninja suit. I want the black Daredevil suit.
I think easily what was so at times aggravating and frustrating with the first season was how often you could tell it was the product of a reworked show, right? Where they went through that phase of the initial vision for the show and they changed showrunners and writers and revamped a large portion of it. Now that we are over, like well over that particular hump, I could not be more excited. I think this is going to cook. Like, lot of Bullseye, please.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Bullseye too.
Oh, come on. This should be as cut loose as we've been able to see Kingpin, Daredevil, and Bullseye, and we'll see who else gets in the mix. But it should just be untethered, let them go.
This should be war.
Yeah.
And I think it will be.
Yep.
And I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Yep. Super fun. We also, this is of note with the trailer, got the official release date of March 24th. Would guess that they'll drop the first 2 episodes at that date. Believe that's what they did for season 1, was it was a first 2 episode. But I could also see them being a tiny bit more stingy. Now they've got some momentum back and they say, we're just going to give you 1 episode. But I'm hoping for 2. Here's hoping for 2. Season 2, give me 2.
If they release them all at once, I'm not coming into work the next day. Just an FYI.
Nor will I. We'll both be jobless but happy afterwards.
They don't need to know. We'll
They
tell them
don't.
we're sick.
They don't need.
Just don't listen to this podcast. But it's going to be good.
So good.
I can't wait.
So good.
March 24th. That's a month and a half away.
We're super close.
We are so close.
We're super close.
Awesome.
It's great. All right. Here's something I didn't think we'd ever be talking about. Wonder Man. Beans, apparently it was good.
Apparently it was great. It was better than good.
It was
It
really
was
good.
89% last time I checked for audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, which if you're looking for reviews, only look at audience score.
Well, yeah.
Just a note for the people that don't listen enough to this podcast. That's the only thing that matters is the audience score. And the audience score matches the critic score, which is insane, first and foremost, for any movie to pull off.
Yep.
And
Usually not in alignment.
And this show did it.
Yep.
So I heard it's very character driven. I heard there's not a ton of fights.
Yeah, very little action.
So, I mean, take that with caution. But from what I understand, from the character retrospective side of things, it's very good for our boy Simon. So I think I will eventually give it a watch. It just is not happening right now because life. But I think it'll be worth a look. But I do also like my high-paced action. So
Yeah.
if I'm not getting that, that might hinder me from watching it. Might not be made for me in that sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy that it's good. Here's the weird dichotomy, okay? Happy that it's good. Still have no interest in watching it myself.
Hypocrite. No.
Maybe.
No, I'm kidding.
Maybe, but there are plenty. Here's the thing. All right, let's give an example of this. We're in awards season, right? And so it's time for Golden Globes and Oscar movies and all that fun stuff. Almost on an annual basis, the movies that compile the nominees for the Best Picture aren't movies that I've seen and aren't movies that I feel compelled to see. They're good, I'm sure. I don't disagree. They're probably very good. But they're not my personal preference of where I'm going to choose to spend my margin of entertainment time in my life. And Wonder Man falls into that bucket. And as superhero content continues to get produced, I think it's great. If there's going to be a variety of styles and approaches and tones, more power to you. I would rather that they be good than not well made or half-baked or just why are we watching this? So I love it for the sake of our guy, and I'm going to mispronounce his name, but YA. There was an Iowa football player whose name was spelled exactly the same way, and that's how he chose to pronounce his name, is YA. Abdul Mateen II. I love that he has a show that went well because I loved him as Black Manta.
Oh, he's so good as Black Manta.
He's fantastic. So it's a bummer, I think, for him that particular branch of the DCU dried up for his sake. So I love that he has a bounce back opportunity here. I think he's certainly worthy of more opportunity. So good on him. Glad to see him get that bounce back and take advantage of it, because this is far from a layup. I thought this was going to be terrible. Like everything that we know about the production of this show and how convoluted and multifaceted, not in a good way, that it was. The existence of Trevor Slattery. Not the last time we'll mention his name on this podcast episode. Incredible that this worked, but so glad, truly, so glad that it did. And also truly, I'm just not going to watch it. And that's okay. I am glad that those that have gone, hey, I really like that. Fantastic. Good on you. Good for you. Anything else on that front, Beans?
Nope.
Okay. Real quick before we get into Iron Man 3, today's Phase 2 film. Real quick, what movies and or shows are you hoping to see trailers for in the upcoming Super Bowl this weekend?
Oh, geez. I'm hoping we get a full Avengers
Yep.
Doomsday trailer.
Yep.
I think that is bound to happen. I would
Totally
like a
agree.
Lanterns trailer, but at this rate, I don't think we're getting one during the Super Bowl. What was the Supergirl teaser? Was that a minute? Or was that a full-length trailer?
90-second range.
So I could see maybe a second trailer for Supergirl, but I kind of doubt it.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I hope it's Lanterns.
Yeah. That's a good couple minutes. Okay. Yeah, Lanterns is where I'm at as well. That's easily top of my list. Because we're so far away from Doomsday. Like, we're going to get a Doomsday trailer. I don't need it.
Yep.
Or want it. I obviously don't need it. I don't want it as badly as I want a full Lanterns trailer. That's where I'm at. But I think we're more likely to get a full Doomsday trailer than we are for my particular wish to come true.
Well, let me also say this. I think we will be due for a Spider-Man trailer
There you go.
in the Super
Yep,
Bowl.
that was the other one on my...
Yes.
on my
Spider-Man
list as well.
Brand New Day. Because I think they wrapped filming, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yep.
I think we have a good chance here. Spider-Man is a big enough pop that when you're watching the Super Bowl, yes.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I'm gonna say those two. Lanterns feels like it's a stretch though,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm hoping and praying we get Lanterns because that's like the perfect like DC and Marvel trailer right there for the Super Bowl. Like
Yep.
Lanterns and Spidey. Like I'm down. I am down for this. So yes, there you go. Is there any other trailers you got? On
No,
there?
those were my top three wishes. The weird thing is that, by all indications, we're going to be disappointed. But here's what I'll say, and this is a first world problem. This is not a true problem, okay? So that caveat aside, that's really annoying. Like, come on, Marvel, DC, get your poop in a group and give us a trailer during the Super Bowl. That's fun.
Yep.
Not because it's necessary. Not because you don't have another avenue to get your trailer out in front of a bunch of fans. But I think of a few years ago, for example, when we saw trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine, that was a blast in the Super Bowl. It's just this mini event. Please, can we just do that? That's fun.
Yeah,
I like it for the novelty. It's fun. That's it. That's all. Moving on. All right. Without further ado, let's get into our march through the MCU round 2 with now Phase 2, closing the book on Phase 1 and Iron Man 3. This is a little movie that we saw a trailer for in the Super Bowl. Now, this movie also came out May 3rd of 2013, and since Super Bowls typically are played late January or now early February, okay, yeah, you're gonna get a trailer for that one. But nonetheless, Iron Man 3, 2013. So this was a pretty rapid period of Iron Man movies because we had May 2nd, 2008, May 7th, 2010, and then May 3rd, 2013. That's a lot of Iron Man solo flicks in a relatively short period of time. The movie comes in at a crisp 2 hours and 10 minutes. Dear sweet Shane Black stepped in to direct. I think that was enough. We had the likes of, of course, Robert Downey Jr. is back. Gwyneth Paltrow's back. A lot of new, relatively, big names introduced to the MCU. Guy Pearce is Aldrich Killian. Rebecca Hall is Maya Hansen. Rebecca Hall's not like a big name, but she has been in a lot. She has been in more significant movies than you may recall, unless you look at her IMDb page. And of course, Sir Ben Kingsley as, nope, not the Mandarin, but Trevor Slattery. Trevor freaking Slattery. And it is kind of fun they had William Sadler as President Ellis, just for those people that like Terminator. It's always fun seeing William Sadler and think, wait, I'm misplacing William Sadler. What movie? Yeah, I'm just going on my own rabbit trail there. Pretend that last 15 seconds didn't happen.
It's too late. It's in here.
It's
not
too
getting
late.
cut.
It's
so
never
deal
getting
with it.
cut at all. What I like to do, as you know, is look back on the year that was and see what else came out in the year 2013. Another Hunger Games movie. All right, we're in the thick of those. That was the top grossing movie in 2013. Iron Man 3 came in just in second place as the top grossing film of 2013. Frozen came out in 2013.
Let it go.
How fun is that? Man of Steel. Oh, DC. Trying. Henry Cavill, God bless you, came out as well in 2013. Another Star Trek movie. I did enjoy that Star Trek trilogy with Chris Pine. That was a lot of fun. What else? The Wolverine. That's right. Hugh Jackman's been making Wolverine movies for decades, and no, he will never stop. Lone Survivor was a lot of fun. The Hangover 3, they didn't need 3 of those.
They didn't need 2 of those.
No, they just needed the one. A movie that I really enjoyed, 42, the Jackie Robinson biopic. That
is a good movie.
That was a great one. Yep. And this one gets forgotten about, but I really enjoyed it. Saving Mr. Banks. Story of, let's see, Tom Hanks played Walt Disney in that one. Did a great job. Story behind how they made the Mary Poppins movie. It's a really good movie. Surprises you, but it's fantastic. Really enjoyed that. So there you go. There's a handful of movies that came out in 2013. Beans, give us your initial thoughts on Dear Sweet Iron Man 3.
This movie was fantastic, and here's what I will say. This is going to be a hot take. I feel like if they would have made the front man somebody else other than the Mandarin, I think this movie gets way less complaints than it deserves. Because when you are able to remove that from the lens of being like, okay, I know the Mandarin is this iconic Iron Man villain. We want to see him be a menace. And then to get your heart ripped out like that, yes, I remember being absolutely pissed off in the movie theater. However, rewatching this movie, I don't have any beefs outside of that. But if you can just get over the fact that, okay, this guy's just a scapegoat, I think it works perfectly fine for this movie. So, with that in mind, on the second watch, I don't have a lot of problems with this at all. I think this movie's great overall. I actually enjoy the little Iron Man raid on the house with zero gear because I actually like that it shows off Tony's ingenuity and being able to come up with stuff on the fly. I think they handled the anxiety attacks really well. Like, there are actual consequences from Avengers. Because let me tell you what, as somebody who's gone through anxiety attacks, very relatable for me. And I understand that you almost died. This close, you kind of did die. The Hulk shocked you back to life via his voice. So, watching that, and of course, all right, I know, again, Killian is not he's a good villain. The power thing with the extremists, yes, that's different, and it is what it is. But the house party call for the final fight, that is a whole lot of fun to watch. Different Iron Man armors, Tony jumping and hopping through all the different armors, as well as being able to operate by himself, which I don't feel like the first two do as good of a job as this movie does. Again, maybe a bold take. I think overall, and again, I know we don't like Iron Man being out of the suit. That kind of was a bummer. But I think you get the payoff at the end. So I will say, I think Iron Man 3 is a lot better than you remember it. If you watch it through again, you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. I see it. So that's where I'm at with it. I really enjoyed the rewatch. Again, there are some slow parts. I understand that. When him stuck in Tennessee, that is a slower part. For sure. But I think they are able to pay it off there towards the end.
Yeah, for me, this movie, that's a great recap. This movie lives in the realm of just extremes. Like, the great scenes are really great. They cook. The house raid where he's essentially powered down is a lot of fun for the reasons you mentioned. It gets to show Tony at, in some ways, just like his cleverest, which is really fun to witness, where he's forced to improvise and use his mind to flex a little bit. He can't fall back on, in his defense, what he's created, which is fantastic, but he's very much down to the roots again. It's almost like hey, let's get you back in the cave and see what you can come up with. So that is a lot of fun. But then you also have the extremes of, we just don't get a lot of time of Tony in the suit. And the Mandarin twist is just stupid. It's just dumb. And there's still some great elements of this movie. I love that they tie Tony's past into this. I thought their entry point for Aldrich Killian was great. It made a lot of sense, right? Where you're planting the seed of, surely Tony has some dudes, many individuals, not just dudes, that would like to see him taken down all the notches, if possible. So it makes sense that an Aldrich Killian and even a Maya Hansen have kind of fit that villainous bill. I don't mind that at all. I actually like both of them as respective villains in this movie. To me, that just feels like they got caught with thinking that we have to have the Mandarin in this movie.
I agree. And that's why I was like...
Which they really didn't.
And that's why I really just detached...
Yep. Compartmentalize it.
Yes.
Totally.
Because if you do that and you're able to separate the two... Okay. Yep. I know why they used it. Yep. They were probably getting a lot of smoke for not having the Mandarin yet. Mm-hmm. And... Like, he clearly did not want to tell that story.
Right.
He didn't.
Right.
More power to it. It reminds me a lot of Sam Raimi being forced to use Venom in Spider-Man 3 because of how popular Venom is. They're very similar. Yep. Happens to be the third movie as well.
No, I think it's a great comp.
So, if you pick literally any other face, maybe a lesser-known terrorist-esque villain, I don't think you have that much of a oof. Yeah. Because it is. It is a oof. I remember hating it so much in the theater.
It was just, let's dwell on that initial watch experience, because it was surreal. It was a, no, they're not. What? Oh my gosh. Oh no. Well, that's kind of the range of emotions. Like, there's a genuine element of disbelief, like, no.
And they actually do a really good job of making him scary and intimidating through this whole thing. You're like, clearly they're not going the magic route. Okay. Yep. But he's still a force to be reckoned with. Yep. And you finally kind of get that little nod too of Iron Man 1. It was the 10 rings that initially captured Iron Man. Yep. So you're like,
here's the payoff.
Oh, yeah. Tony's actually going to get to go toe-to-toe with the guy who was in charge of the entire outfit of who had him captured. Yep. That's what also hurts, because you're like, you could have really just tied it all off in one big movie, but you chose not to.
Yep. It's too bad. And I appreciate your approach of compartmentalizing, because you take that portion out and it's like, wow, that's a really much stronger movie. So I wish there would have been better alignment between director and the production branch of the MCU at that stage, because it ended up being just such an unnecessary distraction, right? And if you didn't want to have the Mandarin be such a prominent piece, let him stay even further in the background, where he is financing Aldrich Killian and financing the research, but choosing to stay in the shadows while maintaining control over the outcome of this cutting edge and highly, highly risky experimentation on humans. Like, that makes sense, right? Like, you got to have somebody that's funding this stuff, right? And who other than a in the shadow organization terrorist is flush with cash, would love to just try and develop a super weapon that doesn't require all of these extraordinary resources other than humans. Plenty of humans going around. So it would have made so much more sense to go that route. So it's a bummer. I like Guy Pearce a lot in the role. Guy Pearce in general is one of those actors that when he pops up in something, I'm going, ooh, that's going to be good. He's going to be good in it. He's never bad in a movie that I've seen him in. He's always terrific. And I love, when it comes to the Iron Man character, the dichotomy of his tech against a biological weapon, right? Which is essentially what the Extremis project in the movies becomes, is technology versus biology to the nth degree. Like, that's pretty sweet because it creates a genuine foe that's pretty tough for Iron Man to top, right? When biology has actually been maxed out and surpasses technology, that's a really compelling conflict. So that element for me really worked.
Yeah, no, it was, again, it is one of those things where it's a little jarring at what he can do.
Yes.
Like, breathing fire was not ready for at all. But the ability to regenerate limbs, like, that's
handy.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yep.
Pretty dope. I just think, yeah, it does. It's that Mandarin twist. It just sucks the air out of it because it takes away from him as a villain as well. Because you're right, he is fantastic as that villain.
Yeah, truly. Okay, other highlights though. This to me is like peak Happy Hogan. He's so fun in this movie, where he's just the epitomization of guy taking job too seriously, to the point of, listen, we appreciate that you're good at your job, but you've made your job more important than it actually is. Like the constant tapping of badge, and how he's, that he's gone too far when he's exasperating Pepper. Like when Pepper is going, oh, sweet Jesus, like, can we take it down several notches, please, Happy?
Or when he calls,
just wonderful.
When he calls Tony, and Tony like already like just starts making
he's
fun
trying
of him.
to FaceTime him because it's just like the bottom. Is it his forehead?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
It's
now.
the forehead of security.
That's right.
But yeah,
shifty guy.
Exactly, and he just makes fun of him immediately. He's like, "Yeah, dude, you need to calm down," in Tony's best way possible.
It's fantastic.
And he's only in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yep.
And then like the last 5.
A great 10 minutes. A great 10 minutes of Happy. Yep. He's tremendous. I do enjoy the humor in the movie. I love what you said about the portrayal of the anxiety attacks, and I thought it connected to the previous movie, since we're coming right on the heels of Avengers, right? The previous summer. I thought that connectivity, especially considering, okay, we've had a year since we saw the Avengers. We haven't had any Marvel content until Iron Man 3. At this point, Iron Man is head and shoulders the most individually popular character in the MCU, right? Captain America is going to gain some ground here eventually, but right now it's Iron Man with some space. And so find a way to connect back to what had already come with the group movie, not just the individual Iron Man character. And I thought that was a really, frankly, clever way to do it, to help show why would Tony be motivated to continue to push the limits of the armor and push the limits of the technology. You've got to create discomfort for him. He's not at the top, having won the championship, so to speak, going coasting. And I think that would have been understandable if they had shown him there, but instead they're really putting him as an individual character in a state of distress, which ended up being a lot more worthwhile.
Well, and that drives the entirety of Phase 2
100%.
after this, because you get to Age of Ultron and you have
100%.
him and Bruce Banner trying to put a shield around the world. And obviously we see how that goes. And then you get into Phase 3 and Phase 4. Well, not Phase 4, but Phase 3, and he's still trying to like protect everything that he can protect, because literally that alien invasion
messed him up.
Exactly.
Yes.
And he's like, I do not want that to happen again. You
Yeah.
even think about Civil War, when he's
Yes.
like,
He's very much responding out of fear, right? And that's one of the, but it's understandable. So I don't say that as a, how dare you, you coward. It's a really understandable. He was there. He experienced it. He was involved with all these different instances. And to his credit, he's taking ownership for the rest of his actions. But I think it works so well with his character because this is a character that for decades, right? I don't know how old he's supposed to be by the time we see him in the first Iron Man movie, but he's a character that has been disconnected from the consequences of his actions. He's been able to do whatever the flip he wants when he wants it without having to endure any kind of repercussion. And then it's a hard and forced 180 of here's a big batch of consequences, and these aren't normal human consequences. These are extraordinary consequences. And so it makes sense that his response to that adversity and the burden of those consequences is to go, that was really rough. I would rather not experience that again, right? And he's trying to protect against repeating the same experience.
Yes, he gets tired to fix it and instead wants to prevent it
very much so.
as all
Yep.
as he can.
Very
And
much so.
I go back to the line in Endgame when he's just
Mhm.
like, we're always the Avengers.
Yep.
And I've tried to avoid being an
Mhm.
Avenger in the
Mhm.
sense of I want to be
It's
able to take care of the
pre-venger.
problem. Exactly.
Yeah.
And this sets him up for his entire character arc all the
Mhm.
way through to the end. So.
Yep. And where he's going to conflict with Steve, because Steve is going, this is reality. Like, there's good, there's evil. It's always going to be present. You cannot prevent evil from existing. You can hold it at bay. You can compete against it, but to behave as though you can prevent evil and prevent bad things from happening to the people you love, he's like, that's just, you can't do that. It's a good intention, but it's just not. It's not real. So it's a very, very organic and very well-developed element of his character that they get that continue to progress the character of Tony Stark really well in this movie. Like Iron Man 2, I think its biggest struggle is, does it really drive the character of Tony Stark forward? I don't know. That's not a question I can answer very confidently. Iron Man 3, for all of its wider storytelling foibles, does an excellent job of taking the character of Tony Stark and allowing him to continue to grow and develop in a very tangible and understandable way. So really, really enjoy that. What are some other highlights for you from this one? I mean, the action's great. When there's action, it's great.
Yeah, I go back to all the armors because I just
Yeah.
remember watching that entire
so
fight
fun.
and being like, this is awesome. I love, like, he calls in Igor.
Yep.
It's a giant Iron Man
Right.
armor.
Right.
And you just, again, you watch them all have these different capabilities
Yep.
out there just coordinating left
Yep.
and right.
Yep.
But I'm going through the rest of it in my head.
I even like the scene in the plane where he's trying to rescue the president and the plane is just disintegrating and he has to like connect everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And just have a slow, controlled descent into the water. And then he comes up on the bridge and the armor gets smashed. And you're like, oh, no. And oh, wait. Like that was pretty slick where he's doing the remote.
Well, that armor, out of all of Tony's armor, just gets
thrashed.
ran through
Gets thrashed.
the ringer.
Yep.
All over the place.
Yep.
To the point of that's like the whole bit throughout the entire movie. You start off with like, oh, this armor's really cool. This is really sick. And then slowly like, this armor kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is not a good armor.
Yep.
And he even had to like put stuff in his
Yeah.
arms to get it
Yeah.
to line up. I'm like, man.
Yep.
So I do love that armor in looks, not in
the aesthetic is really slick.
Oh my gosh, the more gold
Yep.
on the chest, it is a
Yep.
sick armor.
Yep.
But it's just, yeah, I think of, I'm trying to think of the rest of it, but I do wish too, I think of AIM.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
wish we would have gotten the yellow
Yep.
suits.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I honestly forget that Adrian what was his name?
Oh, Aldrich Killian?
Aldrich,
was
yes.
head of
It's
AIM.
not- It's not
Yeah.
a normal name.
No, it is not. Not a lot of Aldriches out there.
But the fact that he's in charge of AIM and you're just
Mhm.
like, well, technically it's not even, I can't, like, you couldn't pick AIM out of a crowd. You could kind
Mhm.
of pick SHIELD out of a crowd,
Mm-hmm.
kind of.
Yeah.
They don't really do a good job in the movies of giving
Right.
them all the
Right.
SHIELD outfits
Right.
per se.
Right.
But I do that a little bit more too.
Totally, because we get some Hydra payoff with Age of Ultron and a lot, of course, prior to Age of Ultron and Winter Soldier. I would love to know the thought process behind why this is it for AIM in the MCU. It's like that because especially of late in the comics, AIM has had a lot more impact and influence with, I think, of like Jonathan Hickman's work in the. There's a lot of AIM in there, very little Hydra, but a whole lot of AIM. So I'd love to know the thought process at this time in those decision-making rooms behind. Hey, so we're putting Hydra to bed. We introduced AIM, but we're not actually going to chase that. We're not going to do anything with that. And I'm not like looking ahead at the movies that came and saying, "Ooh, well, you could have stuck AIM in there or put AIM in there." Not at all. But it is just odd that with as significant of an entity as AIM is in the Marvel Comics, that it's given this one little almost passing acknowledgement.
Well, and this is also something I just kind of thought about too. It's kind of a bummer we get the Iron Patriot when we do.
True.
Like there's
True.
no payoff. There's no build to the War
Yep.
Machine armor being changed. It should be War Machine. Also, can we talk about the fact that why are you letting other companies run the suits? Because you have Hammer.
Yep.
Iron Man 3, you have AIM.
Mhm.
You failed on both ends. I don't understand that. At this point, Tony should be hack-free. You shouldn't be able to hack into any of Tony's suits.
One would think.
But it's just, I don't, like, I think of the comics. I believe the first time we see the Iron Patriot is Norman Osborn, correct?
Oh, man. Maybe. Like, there's a good chance, but I can't confidently say for sure. But that is easily one of the more prominent.
Most significant time.
Yep. I
arguably.
can't remember if Norman takes credit for the rebranding or if he's just taking it on.
I
And-
think it's more of a taking on the Iron Man slot
Yeah.
in the Dark Avengers
Yeah.
run. I want to say he's the first.
Yeah.
I am
Okay.
80% confident.
I'll have to do some looking.
But that's such a big deal there because
Yep.
it's Norman trying to be a hero.
Right.
There's no payoff or rhyme or reason. And I know they're like, oh, well, branding and it looks better if it's the Iron Patriot. It's like, no one's going to mess with a guy named the War Machine. So when I think of it
Can't
that
top
way,
that.
it's such a bummer that you get the War Machine ripped off kind of as quick as we got it, it changed immediately. And obviously it changes back because by the time you get to Civil War, it's full on War Machine.
Yeah.
And that suit is sick.
Yeah. I mean, Iron Patriot should have always been, if you're ever going to in an Iron Man suit. That's all it ever should have been. Ever.
Or Bucky.
Ever. Right. Sure. Bucky. Yep. But you're absolutely right. You can't top War Machine from, what sounds more powerful than that? No, that's it. That's it. We got there. We hit it.
War Machine rocks. I told you Iron Patriot sucks.
Oh yeah, that's so good.
Yes.
Last little example or beef that I have is, again, when I talked earlier about the extremes that this movie kind of oscillates from wow, that's really cool to what are we doing? Okay. It was ridiculous to me at the time that I saw the movie for the first time, and it stayed ridiculous on the rewatch of Tony's blowing up all of his armor. No, he's not. Like, that won't stick at best. It's like that was such again, another example, just like the Mandarin, of there is a disconnect here between the powers that be and the director. Like, this is such a, oops, we forgot. We're not a self-contained movie. We can't just blow up all the Iron Man suits. Like, he's going to continue to be Iron Man. And they present at the end of the movie as though, you know what, he's going to walk Iron Man. That's just too bad for me. It doesn't ruin the movie for me. It's just such an awkward ending with he blows up all the suits. He gets the arc reactor removed, which actually I understand. Actually, with that part, I'm like, that makes sense, right? You still got the metal in your chest. Why not have a surgery to get that out? But as a whole, I go, what are we doing here? This is a weird ending, you guys. He's going to keep being Iron Man. Don't.
See, and I took it as Iron Man pretty much telling Pepper, like, hey, this is not going to be the main focus of my life anymore.
Sure.
Like, yes.
Sure. If it had been presented more directly as that, I could get on board.
It felt more like a love letter to
Yeah,
her.
big
than
romantic gesture.
anything, and being like,
Sure.
okay, you know how I've been consumed by this thing for so
Sure.
long, and I need to try to progress.
Mm-hmm.
That's
focus
how,
on some other things.
right. That's how I took it.
That's fair.
Knowing
That's
full
fair.
well in the back of my head, I'm like, all the blueprints for that. If he wanted to rebuild it, he could.
Yeah.
And each Iron Man armor after this
Mm-hmm.
is a definite improvement. Like if
Mhm.
you think of all the Iron Man armors we get to see,
Yep.
he was clearly experimenting with
Yep.
all the different realms he could go to the point of when we get to the final Iron Man suit we see,
Yep.
it is all nanotech. It's all held in one little
Yep.
badge.
Yep.
And it can do pretty much whatever he needs it to do.
Pretty legit.
Hard to beat
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
But it incorporates all of his other armor now into one little disc.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that also changes too, because he doesn't need to experiment at this point. So he
Yeah.
doesn't need
Yeah.
50 armors.
I totally understand that, hey, winnowing down, turning my focus elsewhere. I just don't think the messaging was clear enough there. They just, again, it was just a case of misalignment that, again, on the rewatch, I'm like, shit, that's a little rough. But again, I think the strong points of this movie are really strong. I actually like the villain. This becomes, unfortunately, another example of, boy, we just killed the villain, didn't we? We're just done. Why not have more of Aldrich Killian, right? Why not keep him around?
Don't you just love his random dragon tattoos he has on his shoulders?
Hilarious.
Too? I'm like, what are those doing there?
That had to be a case of Shane Black, the director, going, I knew this douchebag who had dragon tattoos. This is the villain. We're putting
Like
him.
zero
it's just-
context.
Exactly. That's
And
what I
you can-
mean. Nobody but Shane Black is going, yeah, this guy, get him.
And you can barely tell.
Yeah.
Like, because of the glowing heat, it's not like it's very prominent. It's like hidden in there. So watch that be his actual
Maybe
tattoos.
right. Maybe Guy Pearce generally just has those tattoos.
Dragon
and like,
tats?
We're just, you know what? We're going to do all this CGI to make you glow. We are not going to remove the tattoos.
More power to him.
Okay, maybe it's in his contract. Keep my tattoos. You can change a lot about me, but darn it, you keep those tats. Amazing. Anything else on Iron Man 3 for you, Beans, before we keep moving?
No, it's been a trend. And maybe it's getting
I
to
think
the
is good.
point now where it's like maybe we've gotten so much crap lately that going back, I'm watching them with like rose tinted glasses in the sense of these movies are just better than I remember them. But I will also say for sure this movie is better on the second and third watch than the first watch.
Totally.
And that will be how it always
Totally.
is if you're a comic book fan.
Yeah.
Because yes, I will say if you are an Iron Man fan and you've never seen this movie, it's going to be jarring and it's going to piss you off. But if you can watch it, get through it, and then give it a second watch after you've calmed down and breathed,
Right.
you'll actually enjoy this movie quite a bit.
I really want to meet the person that loved the twist. They're out there.
I haven't
want to
heard
meet them. I know, but they're out there somewhere. I would love to meet that person and just hear how they received it and why it is that they love it.
And I would say it's probably
they're out there.
My guess would be they do not have the prior knowledge of how
Right.
badass the Mandarin actually
Yeah.
is in comics.
Which, you know what? Okay, I would love to hear that context of, hey, I didn't come into this with any expectations, because that's a big part of what you're expressing is expectations matter. They make a big difference here. It's a fun movie. It's a good movie. Truly, like, my biggest beef, of course, is with the Mandarin. And I've said this so many times on this podcast, I love superhero movies where we get to see the superhero be the superhero.
Yep.
And there's just not enough of that in this movie for my liking. And I still enjoy rewatching it. It's still got so many good things it's going for. It does so many things so well. The sequence with we didn't even touch on this, but the sequence with the kid is a lot of fun. The random tech bro that has like shaped his whole look to be like Tony Stark is super hilarious and super fun. And it leads to a fun fight scene, right? Where again, Tony's having to use his wits, doesn't have his tech with him. There's, again, a lot of fun in this movie. A lot of fun. Weaknesses be darned. Good flick. All right. Let's move on to another classic. JP and the Beans top 5. As we mentioned earlier, we have finished our time in phase 1. And stepped into the dear, sweet, delightful realm of Phase 2. And so now it is time to do a top 5 of our favorite Phase 1 movies. Beans, you go first.
All right. Well, after a battle of technical issues
We've
with
won.
this episode,
We did it.
because for whatever reason, they do not want us to hear our opinions on Iron Man 3.
Those rascals. That's right. We still want to give them.
My top 5.
Let's hear it. You're
We're-
number
we're-
5, sir.
Top 5. My number 5 out of the 6 movies, I have Thor
Okay.
at number 5. It's a solid entry.
Yep.
Nothing to get crazy about. It's better than the Hulk.
It is.
Just is. There's a
Just
little
is.
bit more depth. Slow burn. Very slow burn. But we got Loki out of the deal. And that's like the
Truly.
highlight of the entire movie.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Thor's at my number 5.
Good to see Loki. I love that for your number 5. My number 5 is Iron Man 2. This movie just got stuck in this awkward middle place of, hey, let's keep telling the story of Tony Stark. We also need to start setting up the Avengers. And yet, in spite of all that, it's still very fun. Tony still gets to be Tony. He gets an upgrade. We get introduced to Black Widow. We get a lot more of Happy Hogan, which is fun. Justin Hammer, I just wish he'd come back. We even get the recasting of War Machine. Thank you, Don Cheadle. It's great to have you. So Iron Man 2 is my number 5. My number 4 is Thor. Just a skosh higher than Iron Man 2. That was kind of a back and forth for me. Loki is great. Really, the casting across the characters is wonderful. What they're allowed to do obviously oscillates a little bit. But Tom Hiddleston is hilarious as Loki.
It's been a long pod.
Is the highlight. Hoki is the highlight. Loki as the highlight is absolutely tremendous. So for me, Thor stands as number 4. You're number 4, sir.
My number 4 is Iron Man 2 for all the same reasons that
It's a
you
good place for
said.
it to be.
Just very distracted throughout this movie. Again,
Yeah.
solid movie. We get Justin Hammer. We get Iron Man. We get the War Machine. Hard to beat that.
It's true.
I got Iron Man 2 at number 4. At number 3, and I want you to know, the top 3, it's a very tight top
Yes.
3.
Yes.
Very tight. Captain America, the First Avengers at 3 for me.
Mm-hmm.
This movie, like we said in the pod that we covered it, does not get talked about enough. This is a
True.
phenomenal movie. I loved the retrospective style for it. I could watch Captain America punch Nazis all day, every day. I've got Cap 1 at the 3 slot.
See, I'm right there with you. Captain America, First Avenger at number 3. And can we not just get a movie with Chris Evans as Captain America back in World War II? Right? Sebastian Stan is Bucky Barnes, the Howling Commandos. I think they'd be down to clown.
A lot of meat on the bone.
Lot of Nazis out there to get decked. That'd be an absolute treat. So I'm right there with you. It does almost the best job of any movie in Phase 1 at setting up its primary character. Not to be outdone by a certain movie that I think is going to end up in each of our top 2s. My number 2, this was tough. My number 2 is Iron Man. And if you ask me tomorrow, I might flip-flop. But for today, since we're recording today, it is Iron Man. And this is a difficult choice. It may be a distinction without a difference. I love this movie so much. I love it so much. There's nothing I can say to discredit it or rag on it or say here's why it's second in any kind of top 5. It's a phenomenal movie. It is right there at the top with the best superhero origin movies of all time. That we get Robert Downey Jr. in the seat as Tony Stark is just a delight. The story is so tight from start to finish. Great villain with Ironmonger. So Iron Man slots in here on today's top 5 at my number 2.
My number 2 is Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Look, the team up aspect of this movie was one of the best you'll ever see. I enjoy watching them all interact with each other for the first time.
Truly.
It makes you want to see them interact more.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the perfect icing on the cake to all the other movies building to this. Loki's a phenomenal villain. It's number again, it's a
It's a great movie.
it's close.
It's great.
But my number one is Iron Man. Iron Man is in my top 5 for movies all time, and it's not 5. So we could go back and forth and deduce which one is number 1 for me.
Yep.
That would take a while. Iron Man set the tone for me overall for movies and comic book movies especially. I mean, I watched Spider-Man 2 growing up. Iron Man, I feel like, really is what set the tone of like, oh, superheroes are sick.
Yep.
And Robert Downey Jr. was born for this role. You would not have anything Iron Man related on this planet at this moment in time if it was not for RDJ knocking the role of Tony Stark out of the park. It's a world that you can dive into at any time. The story's fantastic. Ironmonger is right up there with Loki as a villain.
Yep.
He is.
Totally.
I wish we would have kept Obadiah Stane around. Jeff Bridges, man. It was Jeff Bridges, a phenomenal actor, playing the Ironmonger. Dude, it is Iron Man for me at number 1.
Yep, totally. For me, Avengers is number 1. Again, I can flip-flop between Avengers and Iron Man tomorrow, and then I'd flip-flop back the next. They're both so equally influential, and on a personal level, equally enjoyable, but in very different ways, right? Iron Man is obviously focused on a singular character. The Avengers brings out a roster. And there have been multiple movies that have tried to bring out a roster and do it as well as Avengers. I don't know. It's about as good as it gets for a team-up movie for me. And just the uniqueness and the nostalgia that I hold in my heart for the uniqueness of that experience of watching that Avengers movie for the first time. I love what you said when we reviewed it one pod ago about the first time that you're in a movie theater and you're having an experience, like a shared experience with fellow audience members. That's something that's pretty special. It's what nudges it at the very top for me. Avengers, number 1.
There you go.
We did it.
Nailed it. Hulk did make our list.
Totally nailed it.
Sorry, Hulk.
I feel really good about that.
I do too.
Yep, I feel really good about that.
But like we discussed, the best part of that is the monster fight. So
Truly. Beans, great work. Anything else for the good people?
Yeah, hey, thanks for sticking with us. Because this whole episode, trust me, when I get to edit it, I'm going to lose my crap.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be something. Here, thanks for sticking around. It'll be a good laugh in the next 10 years. So, on that note,
Give it 10 or 11.
Godspeed.
Peace.